Good morning and happy Moon Day, everyone. How's everybody doing in the aftermath of this powerful partial solar eclipse? I hope you're doing well. As you can see, I'm outside in nature, and a dear friend allowed me to utilize her Wi-Fi because for the fifth time, maybe the sixth even, I have a scheduled power outage at my place. And I do have to laugh because Uranus was conjoined with this eclipse, and that is providing electrical stuff, excitability, shocks, surprises. It's a fresh new beginning, so perhaps you're finding that there's a fresh new beginning in an area that you didn't expect, or that unexpected things have been happening. And the chaos continues to reign through our lives, but remember, the creative process is chaotic. That's its MO. So, and we are creating a new world beginning in our consciousness. So, as always, there's some big news today, and then we'll go through what's happening this week as I tune you into the moon a bit. The big news is that we are still sailing on this solar eclipse energy, and so we're going to begin with what we always begin with, the heart drop. And we're going to add something new today, and that's going to be the part of the golden drop meditation that will activate our pineal gland so that we will have the pineal and the heart in coherence. All this energy that's been in Pisces encourages that. And by the way, as we move into this time of ascension, we are going to have two new chakras being activated, new to us. One is about 18 inches below the root chakra in your body, and the other is about 18 inches above. Some of you may have been working with these chakras for a while, but they're really being activated in the body, the physical body of humanity, or the etheric body of humanity. So here we go. So put your feet on the floor, palms up in your lap, or if you are able to sit in a 7-point lotus position, that's a wonderful thing too. And begin to just notice your breath as it comes and goes. Easy breathing. Is it shallow? Is it up in your chest? Or is your belly moving? On the next breath, welcome the breath all the way from below the soles of your feet. Breathe in that beautiful earth energy all the way up through your body, up, 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 up to the top of your head and above. And now light comes down into your body, and you exhale. Make your inhalation through the nose. Make your exhalation as you exhale out through the mouth. Make that a little bit longer than your inhalation. Find that that's very calming. It calms the parasympathetic nervous system. So in, out. And you might even want to put your hands over your belly to be sure that you are fully taking in this beautiful pranic life force. Feel that breath welcome into every cell of those trillions of cells in your body. See the colors of the earth wafting up through your body. The coppers, the bronzes, all the beautiful colors of the earth. That wonderful earth energy that sustains you without questioning with air and water. But now on the next breath, all the way up, inhale, and as you exhale, see the energy of any monkey mind energy, any mental energy drop from your head, behind your facial mask, through your throat, and down into your heart. And put your hands on your heart if that helps. And on the next breath, as you drop, 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 See beautiful rose gold light fill your heart chakra. And that heart center energy now moves out through every cell of your body. That beautiful rose gold energy of self-love. Feel yourself just loving you, loving the magnificent life force that you are. And now on the next breath, we're going to inhale to about 18 inches above our head, and there is a big drop of beautiful white light that now comes down through the center of your head, center of the brain, and it splashes, that liquid light splashes from your pineal gland in the center of your brain onto the back of your third eye. And the liquid light begins to move down, down, coming to land and join the light in your heart. Sense the marriage of your pineal gland and your heart. See an energetic pathway running between the two, grounded in that beautiful earth energy. And now that energy, that beautiful light, moves outward through your skin, filling your auric field. And you are surrounded and filled with self-loving, heart-centered, spirit-connected light. Open your eyes and come back to be with me. Let me know you're here in the chat and where you're hailing from. Say hello. You know I love it when you do. And also, if you are watching the replay will be on, the link will be on my Facebook page, Moon Powered Astrology. And it will also be on my YouTube channel, Claudia Thompson, Moon Powered Astrologer. So go and subscribe. That would make me really happy, yes. So as this day begins at early this morning, 3:47 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, the moon moved into Chatty, Gemini. The mantra of Gemini is variety is the spice of life. And we must watch our nervous systems as we are now in the shadow of Mercury retrograde, due to turn in retrograde motion on the 10th of May. And Mercury will be moving from 5 degrees of Gemini back to 26 degrees of Taurus, where it will move forward on June 3rd. So we have this retrograde coming. We're already in the shadow period. We had an eclipse conjoined with Uranus. This really ramps up the nervous system. And today at 9:10 a.m., Venus moved into Aries, further ramping up that energy. So you might find that today, it's really important to respect other people's needs, wants, and space. Pisces, Venus in Pisces showed us how to be boundaryless, to dissolve some of the boundaries in our relationships and are willing to meet and join with others. In Aries is the me first sign. It's the opposite of Libra. Venus is the ruler of Libra. It's also the ruler of this lunar cycle, which underscores the importance of this shift into Aries today. It supports risk-taking. Last month was about empowerment, self-empowerment, and that theme continues. We're going to have Jupiter move into Aries on the 11th of May, so that's going to be coming up. So we've got some energies shifting out of this lovely, imagineering, dreamy Pisces energy into Aries. It's really important. the energy in Pisces supported spiritual connection and inspiration. Stay in touch with those sources of inspiration. Stay in touch with that compassionate heart as Venus moves into Aries. Venus is not at home in Aries. It's interesting, it's sandwiched between Pisces, where Venus was very comfortable. Neptune, now in Pisces, is the higher octave of Venus, and Neptune indicates an opening to unconditional love, to merging with the divine, and then Venus brings it down to earth. And then Venus in Taurus, so it's like a sandwich with Pisces, then Aries, Venus in Aries until the 23rd, and then it will move into Taurus, and it will move into its home territory, which is going to be really lovely. And it will also really kick off a lot of the things that we recognize during the solar eclipse. You know, the solar eclipse being in Taurus was a lot about management of stuff. Physical stuff, emotional stuff. How are we going to ground that big dream, that leap of faith that we were encouraged to take on the 12th of April through mid-May, where Neptune and Jupiter conjoined? So Taurus underscores bringing your dream down to earth and grounding it with pragmatic steps. Earth signs are practical. You know, I remember years ago a movie with Tom Cruise and Paul Newman, and and also Jerry Maguire, "Show me the money," and that's kind of a mantra for Taurus: "Show me the money." It really wants to feel grounded and secure regarding resources. So with Venus in Aries, it's a time to practice self-love. It's a time for risk-taking, and it's a time to value happiness, you know, to value self-love, to value happiness. It's also a time when you might be fired up and flirty, you know. Yeah, Aries does engender that. You know, that's part of taking a risk, right? So it underscores that fresh start in relationships and money and values that the solar eclipse really kicked into high gear. And as I've mentioned before, solar eclipses they always occur at the new moon. But it's not just a new beginning of a cycle. It's the new beginning of a bigger cycle, because solar eclipses imprint. You work with the energies over the next 6 months until the next eclipse season. And then the imprint moves forward for 19 years when it's a solar eclipse, and 18 years when it's a lunar eclipse. And we've got a doozy of a lunar eclipse coming up on the 15th and 16th of May, depending on your time zone. So if you wonder why the energies seem to be ramping up in intensity, it's due to these changes, it's due to Mercury retrograde, and it's also due to the fact that we are now building to this lunar eclipse, as we always build to a full moon following a new moon. But now we have this emotionally intense lunar eclipse coming that's going to really pop disclosures and secrets and lies, and the parts of ourselves and our society that might have been hidden. So it's rich in the fact that when we bring these things up, we can face them and reclaim the energy. We can eliminate those old hurts, cut the cords. And I've mentioned before about you calling on Archangel Michael to help you cut those cords with his flaming sword and allow that energy to just be released, the energy of old hurts, old wounds, old patterns that sabotage that vision, that dream, that plan that you have for your life now in 2022 and moving forward as we move forward into a new way of being on this planet and a new dimension. You know, these chakras that I mentioned are connected to the fact that we're entering, that we are in ascension time. And these eclipses have a lot to do with kicking that off. I don't know if you remember, but we had 7 full moons in a row aligned with the galactic center. That's no accident. That's divine divine design with these cycles. And we are now right there. And so galactic communication is quite possible. So we're going to have this Mercury retrograde um, encouraging us to bring the divine into our conversations with each other, to recognize as we talk and listen, communicate, and learn that we are each a keeper of the flame of that Buddha, Christed light within us. And if we can recognize that in each other and drop into our hearts, the heart drop, and the pineal connection going to be very useful while Venus is in Aries and as more and more energy moves into Aries, so that you really are able to be a warrior for love, a warrior for compassion, because Aries definitely has that warrior energy about it. It's time to put your dreams into motion. That's what Venus in Aries is telling you. And it's a time also to take the opportunity to establish healthy boundaries. So as we're in shadow with Gemini, recognizing what you want and need in relationships and being clear about that in a loving manner, so that this helps you establish healthier boundaries. So once it moves into Taurus, you're going to find yourself on more solid ground. But certain things may have to be established first. So this is why now, and here's some beautiful divine a gift from the universe, and that is the fact that we don't move into the crescent phase until Thursday. So it's as though the universe is saying it knows, and it does know. This is a big time. Here's this portal, and we want your intentions to really be well thought out, concise, able to be feelized into your life every day, to walk as if, to affirm the abundance all around you and within you, to bless your food, your water, your home, your friends, the things of life that you value. And so we are now we've moved into a time of reevaluation. That's going to be a big one also during this Mercury retrograde, reevaluating. Where are we investing our energy? And that's a lot of what's going to be popped at the lunar eclipse. Are you aligned in your actions, in your exertions of energy with your new moon intentions, with what you want to manifest in this world? Or are you not? Is your energy invested and sabotaged emotionally with old programs, habits, and patterns? So we're in it, but I want you to really keep track of your ahas. This conjoining with Uranus engenders ahas. And on May 4th, which is on Wednesday, the Sun and Uranus are going to join each other in Taurus. And so at that time, you may find it's an excitable day, but it's going to ramp up the ahas, the awakening in your life. It can also ramp up the chaos, the surprises, the unexpected. So breathing is super, super important. I'm so sorry. Elisha's telling me it's really hard to hear me. So I'm going to lean in and hope that helps. It's the wind, yeah, and I'm outside, and I'm doing the best I can since there's a power outage in my normal location. But did that help when I leaned in? Did that help? Somebody let me know. I know Elisha checked in and said I'm hard to hear. There's also traffic in the distance. So, bear with me. This is, to me, having an Aquarius Sun, Venus, Mercury, and Vesta all in Aquarius, and Saturn transiting to boot. I am having to, thank you, Elisha, I am having to remember to breathe, to surf the waves of change, the ebb and flow, and to remember that Uranus rules electricity. And it rules Aquarius. So I've had electrical outlet outages with this square that's going on. So let's boogie through the week a little bit and see what's coming up. Here I am. Let me pick this All right. So, new month, new cycle beginning. And yesterday, by the way, was Beltane. Happy Beltane. What is that? Well, we've come to know it as May Day, but Beltane in more ancient times was the celebration of the fertility of spring. And every phase, there are 8 phases to each lunar cycle, and there are 8 phases mirrored in the year. So I call it the natural calendar, the natural year. So we've been in the first quarter phase since the equinox. And now Beltane, May 1st, moved us into the gibbous phase. The summer solstice in Cancer always is analogous to the full moon of the year. So this is the point you've been building to since the winter solstice. Something will be birthed at that time. That is the potential. Something comes into being. So each phase is 6 weeks. So yesterday told you that there are 6 weeks till the full moon of the year and the waning part of the energetic cycle where the light diminishes. The solstice is the longest day of the year, and then the light starts to diminish. So in the gibbous phase, you polish your progress, and it really blends beautifully with the solar eclipse because the solar eclipse asked that you look at what you need to release to move forward on your big dreams and your vision and your practical plan to make these things real. So at this time, you look at where your energy might not be aligned with what you want to birth. And are you clear on what you want to birth? And are you clear on your values? This cycle, and especially this week, is about getting clear on that. So spend some time doing that. And remember to breathe, to reflect, to start to really move into the energies that are afoot. It's kind of it's like walking on a moving train, right? Where you've got the Uranus energy, the Venus in Aries, the Gemini, Mercury in Gemini on the one hand, and then on the other hand, you've got that overarching Taurus energy that says calm, patience, persistence, and one step at a time will win the day. So today I mentioned that we've got the moon in Gemini, and it might be really wise to respect other people's autonomy with Venus moving into Aries and the moon having moved into Gemini. Be willing to drop into your heart. When you listen, it will be very helpful. So the mind won't be thinking of what it wants to say next or too many facts, but will be able to feel into the situation if you listen with your heart. So issues may gain momentum throughout the day, and the deeper motivations and deeper fears could be revealed as you move into the later part of the day and the evening. And tomorrow, tomorrow we have Mars. We wake up and Mars is square, Gemini. So you might find that you trip over your words. And that's why if you can just slow down a bit and, the breath, it's interesting because I've mentioned before that when you breathe, you're not just breathing in air, in oxygen. You're literally breathing in life force. And, it's interesting. It's said that we hear far less than 0.1% of the actual sound going on, and we see the same less than a fraction of a percent of the light that's around us, that's everywhere within and around us. So when you think of that, it reminds you that when you breathe, you're breathing in so much more than what you're aware of with the actual physical feeling and coming and going of the breath. And I have this bracelet that a friend who's a yogi gave me that says prana. Where is it? Prana. Yeah. That just reminds me to slow down and breathe and let the breath be delicious. Get all that food that's in the breath. You know, there are people in the eastern part of the world that are called breatharians, and they don't eat food. They get all they need sustenance wise from the breath. Pretty powerful, right? And we eat our food to get actually, when we're eating nutritious food, we're eating it to get the carotenoids, the vibrations of the colors in the food. That's why they say eat a rainbow. So, you know, breathe that rainbow as well. And that'll go a long way to calm your nervous system. It really does act like almost like a hit of vitamin B on the myelin sheath that covers the nerves in the nervous system. And also remember that the Taurus cycle rules the ears, the nose, the throat, and the neck, and the 5 senses. So getting out in nature to ground every day. And I don't know about you, but I find that it just changes my whole vibration, my whole frequency shifts when I step into nature. It's better than any drug I can imagine. Yeah. So, on Tuesday night, you might find that you're more willing to release some old ways. And as you move through this new moon post eclipse intention setting time, you know, coming up with the things that sabotage you, where you continually get in your way. I know for me, one of my intentions is to clear my storage bin. I have a storage bin from a house that I sold, and I don't even know what's in it anymore. But the downside of Taurus is hoarding. And, you know, there's that show on television, Hoarders. So it doesn't mean that it has to be to that point. But we look at in our lives where we don't release the past because it's indicated by the way we hang on to stuff. So this whole cycle, we're going to get to look at, as I mentioned earlier, managing our stuff physically, emotionally, and mentally. We're going to get to look at all of that. And so the more that you can cut those cords, it all begins with awareness. So the more you can become aware, the farther along the path you're going to be. And you know, I know Venus in Aries says I have to do it myself, but moving into putting it out there, being open to receiving what and who you need as far as help and assistance goes can be really, really important. You'd be on a planet with your name on it if you were meant to do it all yourself. On Wednesday, as I mentioned, the Sun and Uranus conjoin. And so you might find that something unpredictable happens. And just remember, process rather than pinpoint. Allow your process step by step. Drop into your heart. Be present, because this can be very what I call jiggity energy. I have found that sometimes it's just really jiggity energy. So I need to have my calendar and my focus and breathe and become present, because this Mercury in Gemini and the moon in Gemini can be really head-oriented energy. Lots of thinkity think, lots of monkey mind stuff. And on Thursday at 2:53 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, we move into the crescent phase. And the crescent phase is the phase where we mobilize our resources. We get what we need in order to move forward on our intentions if we haven't already. It's also the time that we often struggle away from the inertia of the past. So insights and triggers around old patterns and old programs, places of intractability can come up so that we can see what's holding us back. And also getting clear on the steps we need to take. What do we need to get in order to take this step? And then the next step. You know, I've been sorting, right? So getting the boxes, bringing the boxes in from the car, setting them up, noting what I want to put in each one, it's really good to allow yourself to slow your mental processes down. After all, life goes by like a strobe light in a minute, and you don't want to miss a thing. You want to be as present as possible. So it could be a really boisterous day, and focused on emotional security as the moon moves into Cancer late at night. Late at night. So actually, that's 11:05 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. So when you wake up Friday morning, the moon will be in Cancer, and there will be that's quite a shift from Gemini to Cancer, lunar energy speaking, because it moves out of air and the mind, mental pursuits, into the sign of water. And Cancer has to do with the inner child, the mother in all of us, and emotional security. So it's going to be an aspect that supports what you're going to do on the physical plane, that pragmatic plan to create more emotional security. And it reminds you also to lighten up, take that lighter energy of the Gemini moon and carry it on into the Cancer moon sign, because Cancer can become serious, and it really is super creative energy. It's the energy of birth and play. So as we move to the end of the week, we find on Saturday that it's a great day to get out in the garden or take a walk. And in the afternoon, because we're going to be encouraged to play. So that word comes up more. Fun, play, Leo words. As at 11:50 a.m. on Saturday, the moon moves into Leo. Heart-centered, passionate, charismatic Leo, reminding you to look at your intentions and how you're going to shine through that plan. How the purpose, or the vibration that you came to shine out into the world, how you're going to put that into your plan, how that augments and inspires and elevates your dream as you bring it into reality. And on Sunday, you might find that your own needs can predominate. So watch out for negative selfishness. This whole cycle with Venus in Aries, it's going to engender some selfishness, but that doesn't have to be bad. We've given selfishness a bad connotation. But if we don't have good boundaries, if we don't have healthy boundaries, if we don't know what's ours and what's somebody else's stuff, then this can be something that gets in our way and prevents us from having great connections. And Leo is also about romance, wants romantic connection. So you might find that Sunday morning has a little bit of that in it too, especially with this flirty energy that's now in Aries, with Venus in Aries. So on Sunday, Chiron is a player. So the powerful energy of healing is there, it's available. And you'll see that when the first quarter occurs later that night, later that day, you'll find that you need to choose between activities that satisfy your desires in the moment, or those that are motivated by those longer term considerations. And you'll reap the reward of those choices that focus on the longer term situation and getting clarity on that early on Monday as another week begins. So it's beautiful because you're going to have the first quarter phase of taking action to build a sustainable system under your dreams to bring them down to earth. You're going to have that energy, the wind beneath your wings next Monday. So if you have any comments or questions, let me know. It's a time to put your dreams into motion. These are big eclipses. The one on Saturday, even though it was conjoined with Uranus, was really lovely in its energies. It was 65%, so it was a partial eclipse. But the one that we're building to on the 15th and 16th is a total lunar eclipse, and it will be visible from the United States, Mexico, and South America. So we're going to see it, we're going to feel it, and we're going to experience the emotional intensity of it. And just remember, it's here to help us eliminate everything that gets in the way of that new dream. And the thing that's so great is we're going there together. I mentioned I did a little with the chakra above the head today, the golden drop, activating the pineal gland. So this new chakra is like a pearl of inestimable value that we are now activating, and also that chakra below our root chakra that I'll work with a little later. We are being asked to take on an enormous amount of light. You know, in 1987, at the time of the harmonic convergence, we entered the photon belt. And now we are really streaming through it. And this, you know, we've been waiting for this for over 2,000 years. We've been, you know, in other incarnations here watching this. And so there were 11 strands of DNA that we agreed to not have activated, allow them to be inactive when we agreed to come into this particular kind of body, kind of human manifestation. And now these strands of DNA are being prompted to be activated. And there are many things that you can look at regarding this. Brian Scott has a wonderful video on the 12 stages of ascension, of activation. And it's just got so much incredible information. But it talks about the big overarching thing going on, evolution going on, where we are moving from carbon-based beings to crystalline beings. And this is what is going to be, and already is ramping up our telepathic abilities. So listening, beginning, and the more present you are, the more you can choose the things that elevate rather than upset, the more you're going to keep those lines of communication open. And you know, Mercury is known as the trickster and the divine messenger. And so you get to choose. And oftentimes it seems like it does play tricks with us. And when it's in Gemini, a lot of technological communication can have some snafus occur. But I just want you to keep in mind that the opportunity is bigger and higher than it's ever been to bring in those other energies, which is why that activation of the pineal and melding it, you know, getting that energy running between the heart and the pineal while grounded with earth, beautiful earth energy, is so valuable right now. You know, this is the challenge, is more and more energy moves out of Pisces. Neptune is going to stay there, but Jupiter's going to move into Aries, and it'll be there for 7. It'll be there for a long time, and I'll be giving you those exact dates. It will really bring an extra level to the fresh start that's going on, and it will encourage us to take some risks, to take that quantum leap of faith. So I want to see what else I have for you today. That's pretty much it. So we're going to move through 2 phases this week. Crescent phase on Thursday, and we will be moving into the first quarter phase by the end of the week. We'll be moving from Gemini into Cancer and then Leo. So we will move from air to water, emotional, to fire, passion. Really beautiful to underscore that forward movement regarding these turbocharged eclipse intentions. And I encourage you to practice the heart drop and remember to feelize your intentions. Get a concise sentence going on. I happily and thankfully create during this cycle, manifest, then what you're going to manifest. Then get a picture of it, close your eyes, get grounded, do the heart drop so you're present. Bring that picture into your mind with vivid colors, a vivid picture of how it looks to have that intention manifest right now. Health, one for health, one for relationship, one for business, one for home and family, no more than 4. And then as you drop very aware, with great awareness into your heart, step into that picture. Feel the energy expand of your heart, expand through every cell, be grounded in your root chakra, and feel with every fiber of your being what it feels like to have that energy manifest right now. So we're going to have, Pluto is retrograde now, so we're still looking at what power means. Where is top-down power or perceptions or programming still going on in our lives? What does status mean to you? It's a big part of values and reevaluating. So ask yourself, what is status? Do you live in the world of I should have or fear of not enough? Or do you live in a world where you acknowledge your abundance all the time? After all, gratitude is the fertile soil in which all intentions are planted. And each intention, after you feelize it and make any notes that might have come through, then you put 3 action steps underneath each intention and you calendar them. You commit to when you are going to take action on those intentions. And then gratitude. I really recommend waking up and doing gratitude, just writing gratitude every morning. What are you grateful for? I'm grateful for this beautiful day. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for my friends, my community, and that we're all manifesting our desire for happiness. Nam myoho renge kyo. Yeah. And I'm grateful for you. We're going to have Jupiter moving into Aries. We're going to have Mars will move into Aries. And when it does that, it'll be there for 7 months. So the year is going to continue to ramp up. This is a year of choice. You are at choice. How are you going to use your consciousness? How are you going to move more and more through that ascension portal to 5D in your consciousness while navigating this 3D world? Yeah, it's quite an assignment. Quite an agreement to be here at this time in these exciting times as the light that you are. And again, you're being encouraged to take in more light. It's happening. There's really no choice about it. With the photon belt, the ramped up mass coronal ejections coming from the sun, more and more light. So dance in the light that you are. Book a session with me. It's a great time to do it as we ride on these eclipse energies that are going to imprint for 19 years in the solar and 18 years in the lunar. These are the overarching energies for this year, for this time, and moving forward into this new time of new earth. I wish you a wonderful, wonderful week. And now, as always, I love you to the moon and way beyond.